All right, it's been a hot second. Let's dive into it. We're doing all Pioneer today, so we're going to have 3 different Pioneer decks up. We are kicking off with blue-white God-Pharaoh's Gift. So God-Pharaoh's Gift here. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, you may exile a creature from your graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4. It gains haste. So the general idea here is we utilize cards like Champion of Wits, Chart a Course, Strategic Planning, and Master of Inquiries to get God-Pharaoh's Gift and creatures into our graveyard. And then we utilize Refurbish to return God-Pharaoh's Gift to play. And then God-Pharaoh's Gift returns our various creatures to play to generate value. So we've got Agent of Treachery to take stuff from our opponent. We've got some Angel of Invention here, which can be a 4/4 flying vigilance lifelink that makes 2 1/1s. Or it can be a 6/6 with those stats. Also make sure the creature is bigger. So we have some interactive elements here too with Reflector Mage and Supreme Verdict. I'm interested to see if this deck can be fast enough or interactive enough to keep up with some of the things we've seen around Pioneer. I'm kind of skeptical. If you look at this deck, none of our cards that cost less than 3 mana interact with the board, which feels like it's going to be a tall order. We do have 4 copies of Supreme Verdict between the main deck and the side, which can likely be relevant in some matchups. If we find faster matchups where those cards are relevant, we'll probably be okay, but we'll see. I wouldn't be super surprised if this deck kind of just gets run down. Let's jump on in and see how it goes. Yeah, Supreme Verdict's a pretty good card in this format. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a card that we end up boarding in frequently. We'll see though. Verdict is kind of lackluster against both blue-white control and ramp. So okay. Looks like black aggro. Not going to have a lot of time to fool around here. Ditch the God-Pharaoh's Gift here. There's a lot of moving parts to a deck like this. We need to not only find our Refurbish, but we also need to get creatures into the bin too. Okay, there's a Master of Inquiries. So this makes 2 energy when it comes into play. Comes into play, and then I can mill us for 3 twice. And then eventually it can jump block. But we still don't have a Refurbish insight. Yeah, I actually took Blue-Red Emerge off my website. The deck's not particularly competitive. As the format got more mature and optimized, the amount of interaction that it was playing just wasn't enough. And this feels like a good example of kind of what I was talking about expecting before we started. Like, our deck has a lot of moving pieces, and I can't even call this an A-B combo deck, because it's more complicated than just drawing God-Pharaoh's Gift and drawing Refurbish. Like, in addition to drawing both of those things, we need to also get God-Pharaoh's Gift into the bin, and we need to draw, and we need to get other creatures into the bin with it. They took our Angel of Invention. Do they not understand how our deck works? They must not, huh? They definitely should have taken the other God-Pharaoh's Gift. Nice, Beansy. So, I mean, this is one of those situations where I hate to be right, but doesn't feel good. Like mentioned when we started, kind of expected to get run down. That's exactly what happened. We'll bring in Sunscourge Champion and some extra Supreme Verdicts here. I guess I'll trim this and an agent, maybe. Like part of the struggle with boarding with this deck too is like I don't have that many actual bombs in it. I did Gengar. I'm like 4 episodes into it. When this deck goes off, it's incredibly fun. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, you're just like making a 4/4, right? It's like not super novel. Played Sultai Control from Diamond 4 to Mythic yesterday. I think the deck is really good. Hopefully we'll play it again on stream soon. Yeah, I agree, Rexbox. The blue-black build that we had played felt really good, and the Sultai deck is basically blue-black splashing the busted Simic card. Void Winnower seems too cute. What is it there for? I have no idea. Not a clue. So a front runner for the Pioneer deck I enjoyed the most. Not really. There's been a few things that have felt good. I guess I like the Sylvan Advocate decks. Me glancing at my website. The Abzan Ballista combo was a Delirium deck that felt good. Actually, Feather's been pretty good. Feather's been pretty good the few times we played it too. So if I had to pick 2 decks from my website, it would probably be the Abzan Ballista combo deck and the Feather deck. Although Keese's combo and Jeskai Ascendancy have been amusing as well if you're into combo decks. So like they duress me here and take this Charter Course, and then like my hand just kind of doesn't do anything. I guess this eventually dies, and then eternalizing it, discarding a card is upside. Yeah, if you haven't put by my website, you should definitely check it out. There's not only is all my content well organized up there, but you can also find good, clean deck lists. So for the various formats, Standard, Historic, and Pioneer, I keep deck lists updated. There's some older Modern decks up there, but we don't really play that format anymore. They're mostly there for archival purposes. Dredgeless Dredge with Uro. Yeah, I bet Uro's probably pretty good in there. You up the pros, find new decks. I mean, historically speaking, well, that's really good for us. Thanks for addressing my God-Pharaoh's gift. Historically speaking, it's been a long time since a pro tournament found innovation that we didn't already know existed in the format. Like, we're living in the digital age, and like SCG tournaments and stuff like that in the regular, and just like brand new decks showing up at Pro Tours or Mythic Championships or whatever, just like doesn't really happen anymore. Yeah, Keese's combo is probably the closest thing to it, but that wasn't even a Mythic Championship, right? That was just at a qualifier weekend. Oh, putting Trawler in this deck? Putting Trawler in this deck would probably be sweet. Although, like, so part of it, is that even sweet? So, like, part of the problem with, like, what this deck is doing, in my opinion, is we're jumping through a lot of hoops for this archetype, and then, we're jumping through a lot of hoops for what we're doing with this deck, and you're not really gaining that much out of it. Like, just casting your spells isn't that much worse than, like, all the effort you're going through. Yeah, to be fair, though, Dig, the Seasons Past deck wasn't very good. Yeah, so, like, people are talking about Dream Trawler, and, like, at a glance it seems okay, but then when you really think about it, like, if you're at 6 mana to cast Dream Trawler, you could probably just cast your spells, right? The list on my website is always my recommended list. I will frequently try different things in videos when we play them. And we'll talk about things that get tried, generally in the wrap-up segment. But if I don't like what we changed, I don't update the website. So just because a list has a newer timestamp on it doesn't mean it's more current. Or doesn't mean it's what I'd recommend. The purpose of the decks that are on my website is all of those pages are kept constantly up to date. If we stream something and I feel like what we streamed impacts the decks on my website, I make notes and I make those updates after I sign off for the day. I mean, if your buddy really wants to play Approach, you should just play the deck they like playing. Life's short and Magic's more fun when you play the decks you like. Like, even here, right? Like, this game that we're winning, we're just, like, winning by playing blue-white stuff. So it says Fabricate 2, so I either choose to put 2 counters on this, or I can make some friends. I think I just want to make some friends. Sure. Killed my dork. So last card is Regisaur here. If all other things are equal and someone enjoys a proactive deck just as much as they enjoy a reactive deck, I would always recommend playing the proactive deck. Magic is a game that rewards you for being proactive. So we eternalize this. So we get a 4/4 that gains 4 life when it comes into play. And then I could technically trade my 4/4 plus some 1/1s for the Regisaur. Might be something that I want to do here. It's also like, do I even want to discard this? Because, like, I don't have a Refurbish in sight, but, like, I have a 6th land. So, like, if I would have drawn one more land, I could have just cast the Agent of Treachery. It's a good draw. That's aggressive. So I'm going to go ahead and eat the Mutavault, trade here, chump here, take 3. Let me Pikachu. Thank you for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. Yeah, they definitely did not give me a chance to make a mistake with their Murderous Rider. I'm just jump blocking. So we're hoping to draw God-Pharaoh's Gift, Agent of Treachery, Intervention, Refurbish. A lot of good ones here. Here's the realistic expectation to Oldsby. It doesn't matter what deck your friend plays because the odds of them doing well are very similar regardless of which deck they choose to play. Magic's a game with an incredible amount of variance, and whether or not your deck is good or bad doesn't really matter. Being lucky is what matters. Take a deck that you enjoy the mechanics of playing, and play it. And if you run good, you'll get to do something. And if you don't run good, you shake it off and move on to the next one. Just gonna take their 7/6, I think. Not gonna have any cards left in my hand this game. Might as well. Morning, sir. Yeah, cards in frame colors that are like not their own tend to look real slick. Very novel at the very least. We have won this game. We managed to find our second combo piece, and the game is basically over. Make some friends. That's the game plan. Get to bring a bunch of friends back. Have a good one, Osby. Am I happy with how I boarded? I kind of feel like this is the reason we won, right? I don't really have anything else to cut, though. Yeah, I think I just leave it how it is. Well, there goes the verdict plan. We still got a lot of other good cheap cards here. The fact that both of these are 2/3s is likely exceedingly relevant. Ah, good old Thoughtseize bug. You really helped me to see that not every loss is the end of the world. I used to be one of the salty ones, but I found it much easier to accept losses that I hadn't said it before. Thanks for that. Thanks for being around, Elliot. I think, and this is definitely something that I experienced too when I started playing a lot more Magic, is that Magic's a very intellectual game, so it can definitely feel like, when you lose, that like you lost because you're stupid or because that's the key. You lost because you're stupid. And like when you can disconnect from that and realize that like a lot of your losses in Magic are going to be outside your control, learning to differentiate which ones are outside your control and which ones you had player agency in is a really big level up moment. And it's tough because Magic's a game where it can often be hard to identify when you lost because it was your fault. Because, you can often make a decision on turn, 2 or 3 that then snowballs and loses you a game on turn 9. Yeah, it is, honestly, it is a good general life lesson. You are often going to lose, and it's often going to not be your fault. One of the things that we have that's a problem in the society we live today, where like people equate success with merit, is like people who think billionaires and folks like that are justified think it because, well, they're only successful because they deserve it. When in reality, geography is destiny, right? Like, where you start from has a lot of determination on what you end up getting to do in life. I assume they're going to take my Refurbish here. They could also take the Angel of Intervention, though. Now we're talking about Magic the Gathering decisions not mattering. I mean, it applies to life, too. There's a lot of things in life where, your choices don't matter and you're kind of just screwed. It's possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness, that is life. Yeah. Super, super accurate. What do I want to ditch here? I think it's Charter Course. Because, like, I can cast the Angel of Intervention if we just draw land here. Doof Monster, thank you for the entire year of support. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Get you a sword to go with that shield. Take Champion and hope I brick. I don't know. Kind of feel like we're in reach of stabilization here. Das a good one, yeah. The Grimoires are good for organizing loose cards. Loose cards, whatever you want. Good for holding cards in general. They're a very stylish way to organize your cards. Definitely one of the best looking card holders that I've had. What does this deck do exactly? Well, you read the card God-Pharaoh's Gift, and then you put it into play ahead of curve with Refurbish. And then you start flooping monsters into play. Which, it looks like our things came together. And we're actually going to be okay here. Looks like they're pretty dead. I think my opponent also didn't quite use their discard spells optimally in this match. So, God-Pharaoh's Gift returns one of our creatures at the beginning of combat. It's going to grab this Angel of Intervention. Angel of Intervention is going to make 2 1/1s. So that way, even if they kill this, we'll still have some friends left over. We'll hit them for 4, so they'll go to 12, we'll go to 12. And this game should be solidly out of reach at this point. I've got a Champion of Wits in my bin we can bring back to draw some cards with next turn. I've got another Angel Intervention in my hand we can play out. Hey, thanks for the 21-month stomp. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I'm not sure that Duress is really a card they want against us. They definitely want their Thought Seizes, but like, while our deck has some high impact on creature spells, we don't have that many of them. Man. I fired off a politics tweet this morning before I went live, so I'm excited to get to block plenty of idiots from that. I just had someone compare Bernie Sanders changing from an independent to a Democrat to Pete Buttigieg changing all of his policies mid-campaign to try and realign when he realized he couldn't win the progressive lane. It's like those two things are not the same. Not even remotely close. Changing the letter next to your name where you're running is very different than changing what you claim to stand for. Life's too short to interact with people who are stupid. There's gonna be a lot of them. Don't let them bog you down. Never forget, getting the last word in against a random person on the internet does not mean you're winning. It means the opposite of that. Every time you interface with someone, you're awarding them your time. The way you actually lose is by continuing to interact and respond to people. Ooh, are we dead? I think we're dead. I don't know. And maybe it's just because it's the path that I went on, but I kind of genuinely feel like anybody who thinks they're a moderate has to be misinformed to think that they're a moderate, because I feel like once you actually like take a look around and realize what's going on, it's like, oh, this just doesn't actually work. Being a moderate, being a libertarian, those are things that look good on paper, and then you realize how the world works and you're like, oh, this just doesn't make sense. This doesn't actually work out in practicality. Maybe I'm supposed to ditch. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to ditch the Reflector Mage there, huh? I don't know that it really matters. Just because, like, there's a good chance the Ascendancy kills us next turn. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people just aren't engaged and don't care to be engaged. And that's fine. That's their prerogative. So this is the AB combo deck. So they get Jeskai Ascendancy here, which untaps all their creatures whenever they cast a spell and makes them bigger. And then Sylvan Awakening makes all their lands into creatures. So now they can cast a spell and untap all their lands. So now they chain through casting a bunch of spells here, untapping all their stuff, and then eventually they attack us for something that's very, very lethal. We have some Mystic Disputes here. We have some Sunscourge Champions. Verdict's not very good. Reflector Mage is really bad. Eidolon is the one I wanted, not Sunscourge Champion. Thought I grabbed Eidolon, clicked on those. Is Void Winnower good? Can I board in Void Winnower? Is that unreasonable? I'm gonna board in Void Winnower. This turns off their dig through times and their strategic plannings. It doesn't turn off any of their actual combo pieces, but it can stop them from comboing or make it harder for them to fully go off. Seems good. Yeah, this is fine, right? Get to bottom and islands here. If we're really lucky, this Minister is gonna flip over everything we need. It does get to mill 6 cards, and then we have Dispute to disrupt them a little bit. Hey, Feds, thanks for the 23 months. Welcome back. We see here the main improvements to this deck compared to when it was good. I have no idea. I didn't play Standard then. I also think it's kind of silly and irrelevant to compare it to Standard, just because, like, power level of everything is contextual to the format in which it's being played. So, like, it doesn't matter if it's better or worse than when it was in Standard. The question is, how is it here in this format? That's the question that matters. We did hit a God-Pharaoh's gift here. It's very good. So we get 3 shots to flip over a monster now. And then next turn we can refurbish and do stuff. That one's gotta go. Gotta go right now. Gotta go right now. Mentor's pretty common in the JAC sideboard. So again, like, this kind of shows just how many moving pieces are in this deck that we're playing. Like, I've managed to get God-Pharaoh's gift into play, but I don't actually get to do anything with it here. Next turn, we're going to get to Void Winnower them, but even that's, like, it's just going to be a 4/4 that, like, cuts them off with some spells. So, like I did part of my thing, part of my pieces came together, but I don't have a full machine yet. Alright, I'm going to the next one. Is this deck unplayable? It might be unplayable. It might be unplayable. What's my favorite unplayable Magic the Gathering card? Spell Stutter Spray. Yeah, that's Twitter. That's Twitter in a nutshell. Drunk Owl. Mutes and blocks are great. Hey, another black aggro deck. Maybe we can punk them out again. Sand's got a lot of potential in it. We got a way to get the God-Pharaoh's gift in the bin, and we get to see 5 extra cards here. Resto Angel is crying. Resto Angel is, like, I consider that to be a playable card. To set a low bar, Restoration Angel is a higher power level than Spell Stutter Spray. Looking for a Refurbish here. Take a Champion of Wits, because it lets us impact the board a little bit while also getting cards into our bin and seeing more cards. Don't look at the comments. It's good life advice in general. It doesn't matter if it's Twitter or whatever else. Anywhere there's an open forum with no moderation, just don't look at the comments. Just don't do it. They might take Reflector Mage here just because it impacts the board the most. To be fair, all things equal, I don't think the Bernie is old response is unjustified. If there was a candidate who was as equally as progressive as Bernie Sanders, I would certainly vote for the younger version of between those two if there was someone who was more progressive. But there's not. Trump's too old too. Warren, Sanders, Biden, Trump, they are all people who are older than I would like to have be elected president of the United States, if I'm being completely honest. But there isn't a progressive alternative that's younger. It doesn't exist. Yang is the closest thing to an acceptable candidate for me who's not extremely old. 35. So whoever is the vice president is required to also be able to be president. So in order to be a vice president, you have to be at least 35 by the time the inauguration happens. All right, so still haven't found a Refurbish. We're going to take another 6 next turn. All right, so with the Refurbish drawn here, this is tough. So, like, do I ditch the Angel of Intervention? The problem here is that if they have a Thoughtseize and I ditch the Angel, I get into trouble. I have Agent of Treachery and Reflector Mage in my bin. I kind of feel like I'm supposed to discard. Yeah, I kind of, well, like, so the problem with not discarding the Angel is that they're attacking me for 6 next turn, which puts me to 4. I think it's right to keep the Angel. Honestly, I think I keep the Angel and then probably plan to cast the Angel for 5 next turn. Is probably a reasonable stance to have. So we go to 4. Yep. So I don't die to double Fatal Push here, right? If I play the Angel. If I play the Angel, no, I do die to double Fatal Push. Double Fatal Push. They only have 1 card. So if they have two Fatal Pushes, they go push. They attack for 6. I block here. I go to 2 because they only have 1 card in their hand. So I think I just Angel pass. What if I do this? I go to 2, and then I keep a servo, and then next turn I get to refurbish, get Angel back, make 2 more 2/2s, attack for 4 with lifelink. Yeah, these are 2/2s. These are 2/2s. Because this is making them bigger. No, because they'll do 2 to this. They have to assign lethal damage to the first one before going to the next one. Yeah, I think this is the play. Getting to kill the knight in combat here is huge. I think I still just make more servos here, just in case they draw a removal spell. Like, gaining 4 is still quite a bit. They draw Murderous Rider. I'm not dead. Yes, yeah, creature. Just like with Nightmare Shepherd, these cards retain their converted mana cost. Cards that are copies of specific magic cards retain the extra attributes of those magic cards. This deck seems a-okay when you're playing against creature decks. How much graveyard hate is in Pioneer right now? No idea. At least 4. Yeah, it's hard to have that be like a measurable metric, I feel like. Six gigawatts per square card. Yeah, most of the decks I've built, like, if most of the decks I build have some amount of graveyard hate in the sideboard, I guess is the answer. Sand's super reasonable. Looking to draw some lands. It's still kind of okay after they thought seize my Refurbish. Okay, it's a good pickup. You got 2 more shots to draw a 3rd land by 3. Reflector Mage really good against their tribal 2/1 deck. Scavenging Ooze is very good. Yep. Ooh. I like that take. I think that's an excellent decision on their part. It's heads up play. They took our way to filter into some more cards. Toward UB Flicker. Sounds good. About Scrap Heap Scrounger. Then probably just Verdicting next turn anyways. Hey, we're actually going to play that deck today. There's like looking to force my hand on the Supreme Verdict issue. Champion's actually a pretty good draw because he'll, when we eternalize it, will let us get back the God-Pharaoh's gift. It also gains us back 6 life over its 2 lifespans. I think I want to just do this so I can impact the board this turn. And I easily trade for the Scrap Heap Scrounger here because I want to eternalize this as a 4/4. Get my God-Pharaoh's gift in the bin. Nah, I think trying to hit a land there is unnecessarily greedy. I'm at 10 there. Like, if I try and hit a land with the Charter Course and then like I miss and they untap and play Rankle, that'd be real bad for me. Hopefully we draw an untapped land next turn so I can Charter Course, ditch the Angel, and then Refurbish and get it back. I guess I could also just like do like we did last game and just cast the Angel. Cards that give you repeatable value out of the graveyard have a much lower threshold for getting played for sure. I agree that I would not be surprised if Uro shows up everywhere. Pitches to Force and Legacy, draws a card when it comes into play, draws more cards later, buffers your life total, gets you ahead on mana. It just does actual everything. Uro kind of feels like the epitome of like issues blue-green has had over the last few years. Yeah, our life total is high enough here that just putting Champion to play is probably fine too. I don't know. The actual answer is probably that if they don't have a piece of graveyard hate here, we're probably on a build our own adventure book to victory. You probably close your eyes and start taking some game actions at random and be okay. Okay, that changes things. So, Leyline of the Void is notably not Rest in Peace. So, I think I do actually still Refurbish here. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and Reflector Mage. Bounce this. ACDC X66, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoglandia. Hope you're having a wonderful one wherever you're at. Now I get to attack with these. This can't block. We hit them down to 10. Just put them on the back foot here. Yeah, the fact that Leyline of the Void doesn't exile what's already in our yard was a big deal there. It stops future cards from being put into the graveyard, but doesn't take away what's already been ditched. Someone asked a question about the mana base in this deck on Twitter. Would it be rude to just link them Frank Carson's Mana Math article? Would that be an appropriate response? I feel like that could be an appropriate response. Refurbish here looks like a good take. Hopefully Champion of Wits can drag us kicking and screaming into another one. Have a God-Pharaoh's Gift to ditch already. I'll probably just ignore it, just because. There's much like here in chat, why not questions are kind of lazy and ones I don't like to answer. Why not questions are low effort questions, and low effort questions don't deserve effort filled responses. Hey, look at that. All right, so it looks like they're playing the Inverter of Truth deck. Yep. Sick. Just like we drew it up, chat. Just like we drew it up. Now, their deck probably has counterspells in it, if I had to venture a guess. So you can look at the top 4 here and put one back. This is a card that also lets them win the game later. We could just cut to giving you a timeout, Sprata, if it would make you feel better. We just stone rain them, right, Twitch chat? And I know you're Twitch chat, so I don't even have to ask this question, but pretty confident that stone rain them is the play. Oh, Void Winnower is funny here, huh? Is that one good against their deck? I think it might be. Reflector Mage doesn't do a whole lot here. De Paris, thank you for the 1.5 years. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Just keeping me around. Hey, Eggs. So far, we've beaten up on a couple of black aggro decks and got thoroughly stomped out by, Just Got Ascendancy deck. We Molvoli Acid boss them. It did cost 4 mana too, didn't it? Sure. Champion's a great draw. That's true. If you're a mod, you can type /user on your own name. See who fragged you. Fixer of Liberty. Hey, that's my nickname for Bernie Sanders. Thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. My morning's going swell. So looking for a refurbish here. Mystical Dispute's a pretty good draw. Well, we could see that get taken away. We could also see them rip the Champion of Wits here, just because it's my only early play. Depends on how fast their hand is. Yeah, taking Champion of Wits to me instead of the Mystic Dispute tells me that they plan to go a little bit slower and just play through my disruption. Doesn't seem unreasonable. was just wondering, if I stream at 8 a.m., what time do I wake up at? My 4 or 5-year-old usually has me awake by 5:45, which is convenient because my 5-year-old needs to be on the bus by 5 to 7. So I put Jake on the bus in the morning so he can go to kindergarten, and then I help Christy get Declan ready to go so she can drop him off at daycare, and then I eat breakfast and then fire up. What do the kids say? YOLO? Maybe I should wait for 1 more mana here. Just like hold up the dispute. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to wait for a 5th mana. I don't know. If I had a 5th mana, I could just like cast the Angel. I appreciate you taking the time to set that up, Twitch Prime. Twitch Prime turns into real dollar reduce for me. So they just turned their deck into mono discard spells and counter spells. So that's terrifying. Bloomington's a great city. Old Bloomington normal area. So they put Duress, Thoughtseize, and a bunch of counterspells into their deck here. Which is actually pretty scary, right? Because, like, they're going to get to... We also just kill us relatively quickly with these, huh? We can just do this and hope not to die. We're probably dead. Because, like, they're going to draw another discard spell here, too. So, like, the way this works is it's just a 6/6, then it flips their deck over. Yeah. So, like, I could sit here and hold up dispute, but then, like, I'm going to get beat down. I think I'm happy with how we boarded. I'm going to run it back. Sure. Dubs Refurbish is a good opener. I don't know. I don't know what Wizard's threshold is for 2-card combos in this format. I feel like the threshold for 2-card combos that can easily be paired with Dig Through Time should probably be lower. Yeah, Oracle, when it enters play, if your devotion to blue is greater than or equal to the number of cards in your deck, you just straight up win the game. That's how the opponent's deck works. They use Inverter of Truth to exile their library, then they play Thassa's Oracle to win the game. Yeah, so I conceded that second game because their trigger was killing us. Or their trigger was winning them the game. Could get Mystic Disputed here. But definitely just here to cast our cards on curve. Yeah, this is Pioneer. If you're ever wondering what deck I'm playing, you can always type !deck in chat or use the Stream Decker widget. As for the format, it's always listed in the stream title. So the stream title always tells you not only what format we're playing, but what the name of the deck we're playing is, and then other decks that are coming up. Decks in the stream title are listed in the order in which I intend to play them in the day. So in what order to stop the combo? You need a counter or kill the dork while the trigger is on the stack. Well, if you kill the dork while the trigger is on the stack and they still have enough devotion to blue, they still win the game. They left us with Refurbish. So I assume they have a counterspell here. I think I'm just going to do this and try and find a counterspell of our own. Alright, we're on the Space Jam plan here for the next 2 turns. If you are on a budget for Pioneer, I would recommend waiting to buy into the format until after whatever bans come as a result of the first set of Players Tour events. So I would be pretty surprised if this format doesn't see another set of bans after the first round of Player Tour event at the beginning of February. Should be coming up relatively soon. Are they next week? Does anybody know? Is it next week or the week after? When are the Pioneer Player Tour event? I don't know. Magic's OP schedule offhand. Is it next week? Yeah, I would wait. I would wait to make decisions till after that. Hopefully they just like die to our 3 power beats. Oh, that just worked. They have a Brazen Borrower here or something? Tilt. Yeah, I don't know if this deck that we're playing is playable in a format where like Brazen Borrower and 3 mana Teferi are cards. Oh, there are ones this weekend? This weekend is Brussels. Oh, that's sweet. There's coverage of all of those, right? I feel like we were promised video coverage. Are there Pioneer events the next 2 weekends then? Are both the events that are happening this weekend have coverage at them? Does anybody know? Okay. They planning to just kill us in the air here? Banner restricted updates happen every Monday. So, if they don't have another piece of interaction, this keeps us alive. Because we chump block here, go to 8. If they have a way to take Angel out of play again, though, we are dead. Need to fade a piece of interaction here. Brussels is live at midnight US, though. That's fine. That'll be okay. If they have Thassa's Oracle here, they win the game. But I assume they don't since they haven't just slammed it yet. Wow, just Stone Cold nothing, huh? Angel let us win the race. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this deck. Like, when the pieces come together, it's fine. I feel like we've been pretty exceptionally fortunate. Angel, I feel like part of my takeaway is this card's been really good. I don't know that I necessarily need God-Pharaoh's gift with it, but like Angel of Intervention has been good. This card, just casting this card has been good. Yeah, like we've won more than we've lost, but I don't know that like the deck feels particularly good. Okadoke. Good cards make mediocre decks okay. I mean, to be fair, like, the idea of this deck is, like, getting that good card into play more often, huh? For folks who are fans of Pioneer, I think Tuesday is going to be our all Pioneer day moving forward. So we're planning to do all Pioneer today, 3 different decks. Maybe 4, depending on how quick they go. This one's already in match 5. We've only been playing for an hour and 10 minutes. Usually I allot an hour 45 for each modern or each Moto deck. So I'm gonna theoretically get cards for a 4th deck, but perfect. If 2 or all 3 of the decks have quick leagues, you can potentially squeeze in a 4th. Mountain Scrap Heap, eh? Maybe I'm supposed to do strategic planning here. Strategic planning technically sees 1 more card to potentially get a fatty in the bin. Yeah, like I don't. I guess if they attack me with Scrap Heap, I get to block. Yeah, hopefully they attack with Scrap Heap here. And then I get to refurbish and make a 4-power 4/4 champion next turn. Yeah, the creature matchups seem good. Like we beat the black aggro decks pretty handily. And then Champion of Wits draws 4 and discards 2 when it comes back with God-Pharaoh's gift. So it could potentially put more gas into the bin. So that way next turn the God-Pharaoh's gift can do more. Well then. I think I'm actually going to hold on to the Reflector Mage for now. This'll give me 3 more looks next turn to put something in the bin. So like, next turn I can potentially go Reflector Mage your thing, play strategic planning. Like put something into play. Yeah, Champion plus Anthems is good. Because this card draws cards equal to its power. So things that give it a boost, lets you see more cards, which is great. Reflector Maging 4 mana creatures. That's my kink, chat. It's my kink. Well, shoot. Then I'm going to go ahead and attack for 4 this time around. Because if they want to attack and trade with my Reflector Mage so I can bring it back, that's great. Is there a Glory Banger in my future opponent? Chandra, eh? Alright, well, she's dead. Maybe? I guess they could kill my stuff. Could play a blocker here, or they could play the Bone Crusher. Sure. This is a really bad attack. Reflector Mage versus Adventure cards doesn't really work how you want. They can still stomp next turn. So we'll floop Reflector Mage into play here. We'll bounce their Bone Crusher Giant. We'll hit Chandra for 5. We'll hit them for 5. Yeah, take your Planeswalker out of play. Take your board presence. How do I want to sideboard? Is this a Supreme Verdict matchup? Is this a click submit matchup? Yeah, Sunscourge is probably fine. I like that idea. This probably dies pretty frequently. It's kind of slow. But if I do that, I'll cut the 3 Masters. We'll bring in 2 Champions and 3 extra Supreme Verdict. That seems fine. Let's do that. I mean, Sunscourge is very good against red aggro. It's like acceptable against red mid-range. I mean, calling it really good is kind of a stretch. Yeah, this looks good. For people asking me questions about why there are cards in this deck, this is a viewer submission. I have no idea. Hey, Fox, can I bump Feather and Pioneer? You definitely can. Thank you for the 10 months. Well, shoot. Does their deck not have a way in the 75 to take Graveyard Hate out? It actually just doesn't, right? Like, this could tuck it, I guess. Yeah, I think that seems like a reasonable suggestion, Polly. I agree that Ministers felt underwhelming. Jace Vryn's Prodigy seems like a better card. Well, we know what they're splashing black for now. Like, for people that are recommending, like, random cards that bounce things as ways to kill Graveyard Hate, we're playing white, chat. We could just play Detention Sphere, or things that actually destroy artifacts or enchantments. Yeah, disenchant. Like, cards that have text. Is Disenchant Pioneer legal? I have no idea. There's something disenchant adjacent though. I don't know if we can assemble a fair game plan here or not. Maybe. There we go. Yeah, sure. Fragmentize sounds potentially fine. Hopefully they play another creature here and we just get to verdict them next turn. Perfect. They're down to 1 card in hand here. So like verdict plus champion filtering through some more of our dead cards. Like we could be in a good spot. Yep. Yeah, we've got both of these, right? Could end up okay here, depending on what their draws look like. Second Angel, yep. I think I make servos with the first one. Be pretty surprised if they're holding a Goblin Chain Whirler. Yeah, double Angel kills real fast. No, Stormy, I didn't really play Standard when these cards were Standard legal. I was playing mostly Modern at that time. They're down to 10. Have another removal spell. Another Leyline of the Void. Deal. Am I supposed to slam that? Oh yeah, they're dead if they don't have a removal spell and I slam this, right? Alright, Stone Rain you. Alright. Nice sideboard card, I guess. I don't know. We went 4-1, but the deck seemed pretty mediocre. The matches where your Reflector Mages and Supreme Verdicts are good seem potentially okay. This card felt really bad. I like the suggestion of Jace Fringe Prodigy. The fact that it can flashback Refurbish seems like a really sweet idea. It might even be worth playing 4 and just like cutting one of these cards as well. My big takeaway from playing this, like I said, is that Angel of Invention felt like a very reasonable and competitive card. So, no, was pretty underwhelmed in general, but when all your things come together, they come together, so that's nice. Sunscourge Champion was consistently good out of the sideboard. All right, what are we doing? Rolling into a couple more Pioneer decks here today. Up next, we've got some Esper Tempo. I'm going to go ahead and hit a quick ad roll while we get it set up for this one. When we get back, we're going to jam some games with this. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for hanging out today, folks.